total scam. They
That I'm against squatting because
yeah,
housing
seriously.
is a human right. Just
Yes,
not my
damn
housing.
right. Housing is a human right, and
Mhm.
and that's why you shouldn't have people like owning like five of them just so that they can rent them out as Airbnbs instead of renting them at low cost to people who need them.
Hey, welcome to Scams, Swindles, and Schemes.
A friendship thingy where we look at internet culture stuff, everyday problems, and ideas that may be more pervasive than you thought.
And then we determine if something is a
Scam
swindle.
or a scheme.
I'm Onicia Miller, filling in for Toyota Corolla, the #1 rental car of the Caribbean.
And I'm Devin Whitlock, filling in for Brian Chesky. Quick legal rundown. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Everything we say is alleged and only our highly misinformed opinion.
Mm-hmm. Sign up for a free webinar where we show you how to start your Airbnb portfolio business with zero money down, totally rec credit, and a 3rd grade education. All right. So,
Yeah.
Devin, I once rented a car locally. Okay. I was a local renting a car locally. And so I was in bumper to bumper traffic, and I think my foot like eased up on my brake and I tapped the car in front of me. Not enough to cause a scratch, a dent, or even enough for the person to be like, I need to see your insurance card. Now, I returned this car to the car rental agency, and the guy does a quick spin around. Then he pops the hood and he says, hey, you damaged my car. Now you owe me hundreds of dollars. Huh? When he opens the hood, behind the fiberglass bumper, there's a metal frame, I guess the metal frame of the bumper for the car. And it is bent like a deep U, not little, very significantly. And of course, as a woman, I was afraid. I was like, I got to get back to you. And I went home and then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. How could I hit someone to the point of bending this bar in a deep U, right? It wasn't like a half circle. It was like in, across, up. And not
There was no
even
damage outside.
right. And not even put a scratch, a fracture on the fiberglass bumper. That's when I discovered a scam. Car rental agencies in tourist towns like St. Martin will rent you a car, claim that there's damage, and then tell you, oh, don't worry about it. Your credit card comes with insurance. Now, Devin.
Uh-huh.
From the perspective of the consumer, from the perspective of the rental agency, from the perspective of the credit card company. What are you saying? Scam, swindle, scheme. Malicious, harmless, or what?
Yeah, from the perspective of the people who are profiting off of this, then yeah, this is perfect. But from the consumer, the person who like might have their credit impacted, or the person who just doesn't want to be accused of damaging a car, when they didn't, scam, total scam. That's how this goes. It goes, top down. Like, if somebody with more money is, like lying to somebody with less money, then that's a scam. That's the definition of it. Yeah.
I agree. This is how I feel about this, right? As a tourist town, number one, there are so many bloggers encouraging tourists to get the local public transportation instead of paying for an overpriced rental. And we as locals, it's not like the Chicago CTA buses. These are tiny minivans, 12-seaters, 16-seaters. I don't got time for you and your suitcases to squeeze up in here. So when rental companies pull these schemes, technically it's a scam, but I guess I could kind of get behind it because it's a no victim scam.
And it is being pulled on tourists usually. Yeah.
Right? It's just encouraging people to use public transportation. Also, I feel like you can't just be running on autopilot because you don't know who you're bumping up against. You see me, you could hear my accent, you know that I'm from here. Why are you scamming me? First of all, I didn't even put a credit card down because I was local. What are you doing? Come for me and my money. Anyways,
they went too far.
I rate this a scam because the execution was sloppy. It was sloppy. Also, I was a victim.
Yeah, that's what makes it a scam. The fact that it was poorly done. That's the
right?
As a perfectionist such as yourself. Yeah.
All right. Our second story comes to us from a very enthusiastic reader, Remigio Torres. And Remigio sent us a very lovely list of 12 unbelievable stories of scams and schemes.
Very
at
helpful.
getpocket.com. And in that list, we found a story about a horrible Airbnb experience. Let me run it down for you. Devin, you go on Airbnb, you book a place, looks nice, you get to the spot. An hour before you're supposed to check in, an hour or two before you're supposed to check in, the host tells you there's a leak, there's some damage, the place is uninhabitable. Now you can get my second property, right, valued at way more than the first property you initially booked. So they're trying to hit you with an upgrade. The only problem is you got to accept it now, right? And like you can't like you got to forfeit your right to cancel according to Airbnb policy, right? So they basically found a way to take off consumer protection. Now you get to this new spot. Of course, you choose it because it's last minute. You don't know where else you can book for the budget that you have. And even if you do cancel with Airbnb, you're not going to get that money right away, right? So you show up to the new place, and surprise, surprise, the new place is a dub. Friends, I cannot go into all the details, but I will just say this. Cigarette butts in the sofa. You can go to show notes to read the full situation. But Devin, I want to know any part, obviously this is a scam, but anything related to Airbnb, scam, swindle, scheme.
Oh, total scam. I refuse to use the Airbnb. I don't care how cheap it is. It's helped gut the housing market. It's destroyed local economies, and not to mention the cottage industry of like Airbnb related scams that have shown up. Like, oh, rent out your apartment for extra income. Like put your couch on Airbnb. And really, when all that happens is like, you get these people who end up buying up property.
So many squatters' rights cases because of Airbnb. Not that I'm against squatting, because
seriously,
housing is a human right. Just not my
human
housing.
Right. Housing is a human right.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's why you shouldn't have people like owning like 5 of them just so that they can rent them out as Airbnbs instead of renting them, at low cost to people who need them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've used Airbnbs before. Um,
No
and
judgment.
before Airbnb existed, my family actually frequented timeshares and villas. So I think that there is a benefit to people vacationing in vacation homes instead of hotels, just because you have more space, you can be loud, you can put like a kitchen instead of eating from the microwave. But I think that Airbnb has been terrible because they didn't vet whether people had rights to rent these properties, and
There
they
is
did not
also
put.
that.
Yeah, they jacked up. They're the reason why some neighborhoods are more expensive, or people can't get housing, because why should I rent you 30 days for 1,300 when I can rent someone 7 days for 1,300, right? You know, so I think like Uber, Airbnb is a scammy scam. Yes, a scammy scam, because they knew from the onset what they were doing. They knew that they were disrupting an industry that came with protections.
Yeah, well, the whole the gig economy, or the way that like we've just like like turned every aspect of our lives.
Rent.
Yeah, well, like no, if you're struggling financially, just like use an app to flip it. Now this your car is your job, your home is your job. Like every aspect becomes like of your life becomes capitalized upon instead of just enjoyed.
Yeah.
Something that makes life worth living.
Yeah, I agree. What else can we say about this scam? I feel terrible. I would just say go and read that article. Thank you for Remigio for showing it to me, because now even if I do book an Airbnb, I will know to not switch my booking at the last minute. Especially like do not void your consumer protection, whatever Airbnb is offering. Also, on behalf of all Airbnb hosts, even though a lot of y'all was people who would rent an apartment just so like not own a property. Okay, let me back up. So traditionally,
You're the
Airbnb
kinder
is,
one, that's why.
yeah, traditionally Airbnb is you own a property, you rent a property. But there are people who have semi-good credits would apply to rent properties, and you think you have a long-term tenant, and instead they're Airbnb-ing it out to people, right?
Subletting it.
Yes. But then when the pandemic happened, people weren't traveling, a lot of bookings got canceled, and then Airbnb was literally out here sending people $7 checks, being like, hey, $7 for you. And so on behalf of all the legitimate Airbnb hosts, I would like to give a giant F you, 2 fingers up to Airbnb. Hey girl. All right, Mark. That's all the time we have for you today.
Please like, comment, share, and be sure to report us to the BBB.
And give us 5 stars on Airbnb, please. I'm Onicia Miller at Onicia Miller on Twitter.
And I'm Devin Whitlock at Devin Agonistes on Twitter.
Join us next week as we explore Moxie robots and film franchises. We want to know which film franchise is a scam, a swindle, or a scheme. And if you want more scams right now, check out our previous episode on, what's the topic, Devin?
landlord-appointed roommates, and yearly rent increases.
So all that is in the description box or show notes below.
Yes. You can find bonus content, more episodes, and multiple ways to send us your banking info and social security number at oniciamuller.com/scams.
That's scams with 3